In a Malay family, especially coming from that generation, you don't hug or kiss or even say, I love you. No sayang mak. We don't say these things, It's supposed to be taken for granted, people should love you because you're the mother and you're the daughter. And they came up to tell me that the noise was frightening people. I showed the security guard my mother's condition. And for that brief moment, let's say for lunch, my mother would stop crying. But once lunch is over, she would continue again. And I couldn't make her stop. Out of desperation, I thought, okay, she's like a child. Maybe I'll try and hug her to stop her from crying. And I rocked her like I would a child, And I rocked her, and something happened at that moment. She placed her head on my head, like a butting of a head between babies and their mothers. And that was the first time I hugged my mother, not as my mother, but with the intention that she's now a child that needed consoling. I learned so much from that moment. The sense of touch connected me with my mother a lot. And I also developed this new habit of saying, I love you. Something that we don't say often enough to each other. Ma, no sayang ma. And it calmed her so much. The sense of touch is something we tend to think as Asians, or maybe as families that are quite traditional, that we don't do and we don't need to do, because our touch is very perfunctory. Safety, protection. But honestly, that touch developed a kind of kinesthetic connection that binds and bonds the two of you, especially the caregiver and the patient. It certainly was very useful for me.